OnePlus's 2022 lineup of smartphones has been a bit underwhelming so far. And no, it's not because of the Oxygen OS ColorOS merger. Instead, it's because of how OnePlus has mostly been rebranding phones from its sister companies to fill up its portfolio. And one such product is the OnePlus Nord CE2 Lite, which basically is the twin brother of the Realme 9 Pro. Here, except for some visual tweaks, these two phones share similar specifications. So logically, one would expect this guy to cost similar to the OnePlus 9 Pro, right? However, for no apparent reason, it costs an extra $1,000 across all the memory variants. So, does the OnePlus Nord CE2 Lite make sense in an already saturated mid-range segment? Let's discuss all about that in this video, but before that, got to pay our office bills with this short message from our sponsor, Royal CD Keys. Are you tired of those Windows and Office annoying activation notifications? Well, then Royal CD Keys is here for all your genuine software licensing needs. Whether you want the latest Windows 11 or a complete Microsoft Office package, Royal CD Keys has them all at an unbeatable price. All you have to do is choose the software you want to purchase. In our case, it's the Windows 11. Then add it to the cart. Then check out using the payment method that works best for you. And regardless of the platform you choose, the payment process is completely secure here. Besides excellent prices, you can get an additional 10% discount if you use our code GADGET at checkout. Now for activation, just copy and paste the key you just purchased in the Windows activation menu. It's that simple. For further information, you can scan the QR code displayed on the screen or check out the description below as well. Okay, starting with the design, honestly, I am not a big fan of this glossy strip running edge to edge through the camera module, but I have asked many of my friends and turns out they like this dual tone finish. Despite the all-plastic build, I did find the phone to have a pretty robust build since it survived a couple of severe falls from my tea table with nothing to show for it. Likewise, the OnePlus Nord CE2 Lite is not that heavy to hold to thanks to the excellent weight distribution and ergonomic design. On the right side of the frame, there is a power button which doubles up as a fingerprint sensor, which is easy to reach and quite accurate for most part. The only thing that's missing with this design is that it has no ingress protection, and we also did not find any rubber gaskets around the SIM tray, meaning that OnePlus has done very little to protect it from dust or water. Up front, you get a 6.59-inch screen with a full HD resolution. Sadly, it's not an AMOLED panel that we're used to at this price segment, but it supports 120Hz refresh rate, making scrolling through the UI a fairly smooth experience. OnePlus also says that they have used an energy-saving LCD screen here, which does not take a toll on the battery. While I cannot really speak to the accuracy of that claim, we all know that LCD comes nowhere near AMOLED displays when it comes to preserving battery life. Anyway, the actual quality of this screen is quite good. The viewing angles are pretty nice and the colors look fairly pleasing for an LCD panel too. The phone is also Wideband L1 certified for HD playback on OTT platforms like Netflix, but do note that it lacks any form of HDR playback. As for the audio, the OnePlus Nord CE2 Lite rocks a mono speaker at the bottom, which can get fairly loud. And there's no such issue as distortion at the highest volume either. But still, I think they should have provided stereo speakers here because, companies like Xiaomi and Poco have been readily offering an AMOLED display paired with a great quality stereo speaker setup in similarly priced phones. Moreover, the haptics on this thing is nothing to write home about either, which is again something that brands are improving on their mid-range phones. Now, talking about the performance, the OnePlus Nord CE2 Lite is powered by Qualcomm's Snapdragon 695 chipset. OnePlus has coupled it with either 6 or 8 GB of LPDDR4X RAM and 128 GB of UFS 2.2 internal storage. Here, my review unit of the phone with 8 GB RAM has left no complaints when it comes to day-to-day usage. Apps open quick enough and the RAM management is pretty commendable too. And unlike the Redmi Note 11 Pro, which features the same SoC, there are no micro stutters or lags here, all thanks to the well-optimized OS. More importantly, the phone runs on the latest version of Oxygen OS, which is built on Android 12. Not only this, but the Nord CE2 Lite is guaranteed to receive 2 generations of OS and 3 years of security updates as well. Plus, the phone still offers the good old Oxygen OS interface and a bloatware-free experience with a handful of OnePlus exclusive features like Shelf and Zen mode. Sure, there are some ColorOS elements in the interface here and there, but I am good with it as long as it does not break the user experience. Moving on, although the Snapdragon 695 is not that great in the gaming arena, I did play a handful of demanding games on this phone. To begin with, PUBG Mobile runs flawlessly at balanced graphics and ultra frame rates. After about 20 minutes into the game, the CPU temperature rose to 43 degrees Celsius, which is not that bad considering the ambient temperature during these summer days. Likewise, Call of Duty Mobile yields the best results at medium graphics and max frame rates. The thermal performance here was fairly commendable as well, with the CPU and battery temperatures similar to before. I also tried a few 120 FPS games like Oddmar and Critical Ops, but OnePlus has not tuned them to run at their best capacity on this phone. But it should receive an update as soon as the game developers optimizes it for this phone. Okay, another aspect where the Nord CE2 Lite is good at is the battery life. Thanks to the massive 5000 mAh battery and a power-efficient 6nm chip, even with heavy usage consisting of hours of content consumption, shooting photos and videos, and casual web browsing, I was able to get around 7 to 8 hours of screen on time here. Similarly, the phone goes from 0 to 100% in around 1 hour and 10 minutes with the 33-watt SuperVOOC charger that you get inside the box. Alright, let's talk cameras now. And hardware-wise, it looks pretty generic here. Its triple camera setup at the back does not come with an ultra-wide-angle lens and instead consists of a 64-megapixel primary wide lens and two useless 2-megapixel sensors. I compared its cameras with the Redmi Note 11 Pro 5G and found that OnePlus's photos come out brighter with boosted colors most of the time, which can be visually appealing sometimes, but in cases like this, the photos turn out to have too much saturation. The Redmi Note 11 Pro has a more digestible saturation level, but oftentimes the photos come out dark and faded. So even though OnePlus's color science is inconsistent sometimes, I prefer it over the dull images from Redmi. On the other hand, none of the phone retains a natural skin tone when it comes to portraits. But then again, the Nord CE2 Lite's brighter results look somewhat pleasing to the eyes. Selfies share a similar story too. So overall, during good lighting conditions, the Nord CE2 Lite can take some decent photos, but still most of them are pretty average for the price, and that's probably because of the subpar lens and not so good software optimization. And this is quite noticeable during low light, as the 108 megapixel lens from the Redmi Note 11 Pro manages to handle exposure and sharpness a lot more effectively than the 64 megapixel lens of the Nord CE2 Lite. And when turning on night mode, the Note 11 Pro also manages to deliver consistent and reliable results most of the time. On the videography side, neither of them support 1080p 60fps recording, and the highest you can record is at 1080p 30fps. Here, the Note 11 Pro 5G delivers a comparatively stable result, whereas the Nord CE2 Lite's videos are incredibly shaky. Also, the selfie videos are not as steady on this phone, whereas exposure maintenance is pretty bad on both of them. Okay, so after using the OnePlus Nord CE2 Lite for a few days, what do I think of this phone? Well, it does offer good performance and a clean software experience, but I wish OnePlus had gone with a more compelling set of features like an AMOLED display, better camera hardware, and stereo speakers to match the competition. So instead of just repackaging products of its sister companies and selling them for a higher price tag, OnePlus should have done a better job here by offering competitive specs. Therefore, I am not convinced to recommend the OnePlus Nord CE2 Lite over, say, the likes of the Redmi Note 11 Pro or the Poco X4 Pro, since they deliver a much better all-rounder experience at a very similar price. So guys, that was all for our full review of the OnePlus Nord CE2 Lite. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also do not forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notifications icon. Till then, I'm Pratima and I will see you in my next video.